Hi there, folks. Lee Cole here, and I got my good friend Mike Paul on. Mike, say hello to everybody.
Hey guys, how are you? Hey Lee.
Mike, you and I've known each other, what, 3 years or so, something like
Yeah,
that, I
going on
think.
4, I believe, a little over three
Yeah, I
years.
believe so. And one thing about you is I know you have a background in, mortgages and real estate and all that stuff. And one thing about you is you have consistently brought a lot of really, really out of the box type trainings and ideas to the local business marketing marketplace. But I think this one might be the most creative and the coolest yet. Do you think this one might be the coolest yet? I think it might be.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is Lee.
The subject, ladies and gentlemen, Mike, why don't you tell everybody what we're talking about here?
Okay, it's called How to Become a Fix and Flip Leads Broker, and it is just what the title says.
Well,
Um,
just for
Go ahead.
people who are not familiar with that world, we're
Yep.
talking about, now I know you work with a lot of real estate agents, but we're talking about real estate investors,
Yeah.
number one, and fix and flip is people who want to buy a house, renovate it, and but they don't necessarily want to hold it for the next 10 or 20 years. They just want to sell that to somebody else, whether that be um, an end user like a homeowner or whether it be another investor. Is that correct?
That is right. They want to fix it up and get rid of it pretty quick.
And you can make
100%.
some really good money doing that.
You sure can. And it's all over the TV now. We all see it on HGTV all over the place. So everybody knows
Oh,
about it.
I'm a little older than you are. It's been all over the TV for a long
There you
time.
go. You're right.
But you're
Not too much older
using,
though, Lee.
I think I'm quite a bit older than you, just on a guess. But
Okay.
I'm young up here. But anyway,
There you go.
um, but you're using a lot of really cool stuff. Can you give us so by selling, I'm so excited. I just like started 3 sentences because this is really cool. So you're selling the leads, you're getting leads for what, and you're selling them to whom?
So you're selling the leads. I'll start backwards. So you're selling the
Okay.
leads to investors, real estate investors. Like you said, people who want to buy homes, fix it up, get rid of them, make a profit, right?
Mhm.
So that's who you're selling it to. You're getting them in a lot of cases for free. And it does take time if you don't know what you're doing, but you're getting them from government websites, county websites, you're getting them from just all over the web, or you can get these leads from a list vendor, put a little tweak on them, like I'll show you in the guide, like I'll show your students in the guide,
Uh-huh.
and then resell them. So you're not really creating the leads, you're getting what already exists, and you're acting
Right.
as a broker essentially, right? Or a middleman.
You're basically aggregating leads
Right. There you go.
and then selling those leads and just I mentioned to you many years ago for a short amount of time. This is before the internet, as I said. I actually did this or did a version of this,
Yeah.
and finding the leads is just a giant headache.
Mm.
I mean, it's always been a huge part of the deal. So you're aggregating these leads and you're selling them to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
and the person you're selling them to, the person who's going to take those leads, follow up on them, and hopefully find a property that they can either renovate or at least put under contract, and either flip the property or flip the contract to somebody else,
There you go.
which you can
Right.
still make a lot of money just flipping the contract.
Yep. Yep. You can definitely do that. So
Is
it's very similar, but you're just doing the lead. So I think you were, sounds like you were a wholesaler, something like that, right? A little bit more involved. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
concept's real simple. It's the same concept. You got it.
I like the leads idea. I mean, you have zero personal exposure.
Right.
You know,
It's a kid can do this really if they want to put their mind to it.
now you also mentioned because a lot of people. I mean, it's not like the mafia or anything, but the world of real estate investors is kind of a shadow world. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
You your neighbors could be real estate investors, you would, I mean, you would never know it, because I mean, people don't like have a sign that says, "Hey, I invest in real estate."
It's crazy.
Uh,
They're all over the place.
see, that's what blew my mind. You said there are probably more real estate investors than real estate agents, and there's a
Millions.
ton of real estate agents.
There's like 2 million real estate agents. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's just in the United States.
That's right. That's right. I remember back in the day before my marketing career, I was a realtor and I helped an
Right.
investor, but he was just a good old country boy. He was from country North Carolina, and he was a real estate investor. He's very wealthy. He owned much of the town I was living in, but you would have never known if you didn't know the guy. You wouldn't have known that. But you're right; they're all over the place. There's so many to choose from. You'll never run out of people to talk to when it comes to real estate investors.
And I don't really think you have a lot of people who are really savvy with internet marketing. Probably the only one on the planet is you who is serving this market.
There's not
Just on
much
a guess.
competition. I mean, there are other people out there approaching them, but it's not like these other niches, Lee. It's not like going after dentists or lawyers, restaurants. Nothing against those. Those are great places to start too. But you'll find because of what you just said, Lee, the response is just much more pleasant. It's
Right.
much more enjoyable. They're happy to hear from you. You'll have more responses, period. It's just an easier way to go about it when you're talking about what niche to approach. So I think it's a smarter way to go about it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Now, do you sell these leads like one by one, or do you sell them in batches, or how does that work?
Yeah, batches is ideal,
Uh-huh.
but you can sell them per lead. Okay. You can make anywhere from a few $100 a pop, right? To
For a
thousands
lead?
if you sell it in batches. There are individual real estate investors. There's a ton of those, but there are also real estate investing firms that the consultant
Right.
can hook up with, and they can literally sell batches of hundreds at a time, maybe close to 1,000, and make anywhere from, I don't know, $4,000 to $7,000 for one of those kind of clients.
So selling 1,000 leads for $4,000. So those leads would sell for $4 a piece.
It can be, it's funny. I don't want to give any claims on this video, but I can tell you what the numbers are, knowing that
So I mean, just as a
possible.
caveat,
You're right.
It's going to be,
So-
it's also probably going to be wildly different all over the country, and
Definitely.
especially from country to country.
That's what I was going to say. It depends on where you are. It depends on
Yeah.
who you're talking to, what kind of investors. So many investors out there. But the 4,000s on the low end, if you're talking to a firm, right? So
Yeah.
$4 a piece. If you're just selling a list with nothing else. If you're selling leads with phone numbers, bona fide leads with phone numbers, and they're pretty recent leads, the same amount, you can sell them for up to $40 a pop, sometimes more than that. So the numbers get pretty huge, right?
Yeah, well, in case anybody's wondering, 30 times 1,000 is 30,000.
Right.
I used to teach math. I'm good with numbers.
There you go. A single investor is not going to do that, but
Yeah,
a large
right.
firm will. We touch on that in the guide a little bit, but most of the guide is geared toward the single investor.
Okay.
So for most people, I mean, a few $1,000s for just brokering, handing over some leads it would make me smile from ear to ear. Even
Shoot,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
Now, without giving away the farm, can you tell us a little bit about where you actually find these leads? I mean, do you have to do anything amazingly technical or expensive in order to find these things?
No, it's so the program, the lead service it's been around, right? We see it in our space all the time.
Yeah.
On Warrior Plus, JV Zoo. It's nothing new. But there are two things, two angles to this that really make the whole difference. Number one is the niche we just talked about, right?
Right.
Number two is the service. There's actually three things. Number two is the service itself. So you are offering a lead service, nothing new,
Right.
but you are not creating the leads. So you're not running Facebook ads or Google ads. You're not doing any of that. So you're just giving them the leads that already exist. Number two. And number three is the market. So the current state of the real estate market is very unique. In the past, real estate investors could go anywhere and find an opportunity, find a home that could sell for a profit. Now we're in a seller's market and there's so much competition, right? Everybody's trying to buy a home. I'm sorry, it's a seller's market. And these sellers are commanding high prices, top value for their home.
Right.
That's not ideal for a real estate investor. So what the real estate investor has to do these days is find what you call off-market properties.
Right.
So they're not officially on the market. You can't go to a real estate agent. You can't look online and find them. You have to find them off market, right? So that's what we're doing. We're finding off-market off-market leads, off-market opportunities. And to answer your question, because of that, those three pieces, the response, the results, everything is just much better than I've ever experienced. So I go to, I believe I lost the question, but I believe you asked, where do I go to find these leads?
Just keep talking. You're doing great.
Right.
Okay. It's really interesting.
So, there's so many ways to find them, but this program I wanted to keep real simple. So I don't want to bog the student down with a whole bunch of pieces. It's real simple. In fact, that's the challenge, is not to lose the student in the simplicity of the program. But I give a couple of ways to do it. Instagram, believe it or not, is really, really effective for finding real estate investors. So before the call here, we had a little chat, right, about investors being traditionally low tech,
Yes.
and traditionally being closed-minded to anything that's current, right?
Yeah.
It's a little different today. They're all over the web. They're all over Instagram.
Right.
They're posting pictures of their homes. They're posting pictures of their renovations, their flips. They're all over there. And a lot of people don't know that. And because of that, the student can use that to their advantage. And I show the student how to go on Instagram, set up a foundation to have like an endless flow of daily responses from these real estate investors. And these responses are usually, yeah, I'm interested, or what do you have? I'm always open-minded. It's not the quit messaging me. It's not the people ignoring you. It's the response rate is really high, and it's really surprising. So.
Yeah, that's the way it was back in the, I mean, you would, man, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just doing it part-time, but, basically I just would call investors. I mean, this is a long, long, long time ago, but I would call investors and just make a huge list of people who were interested. And virtually everyone I called was interested. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, they have enormous difficulty in finding these things.
They do.
And they also have to look at a lot of properties in order to figure out which one to buy. And so they understand, and with the fix and flip model, I mean, you're not really building an asset. I mean, if you make, $20,000 this month, that's cool. But what happens next month?
They have to do it over.
Yeah, exactly. So the successful ones need a ton of leads.
Over and over again, right? Every month. They'll keep ordering. If they find a consultant who can deliver consistently, get them results, they'll stay with you for a lifetime. The good ones will.
This is like, this is just brilliant. I mean, this is just so freaking brilliant. So how did you, I think you alluded to this. How did you figure this out, stumble onto this?
Yeah. Back in the early 2000s, I helped investors as a realtor.
Right.
Not all of my clients were investors, but a good portion of them were.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these guys, he was kind of like a mentor to me.
Huh?
Small market, Goldsboro, North Carolina. And he helped me through the whole business. So I learned the ins and outs of real estate investing, did a little bit myself. And later on, got out and kind of forgot about that niche.
Yeah.
But we're doing the same thing now, right?
Yeah.
I'm generating leads. And I actually sent my group of students a survey asking them what they want, and a lot of them, it was a common theme. They want something more simple.
Sure.
They want something that doesn't take a lot of money. They want something that doesn't take a lot of time. Right? Those are the three factors.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Simple. I understand. Time. I understand. Money, I obviously understand, but I think that's really important to anyone listening to this interview. How much money up front would somebody, besides buying your training, how much money up front would somebody need to, to get going with this?
Literally nothing. I mean, most of the ways to do this will cost nothing, or a very little amount of time. What you're doing here, even if it does cost money to get the leads, you're not using your own money. You're getting an upfront fee from your client,
Right.
using a
Okay.
portion of that fee to get the leads.
Right.
Okay. And you're keeping the difference. So it's basic brokering 101.
Got it. So really, besides buying your training, nothing huge out of pocket.
Nope.
Cool.
That's
Now,
it.
so how to do this is all in what we call the front end offer. In other words, the first thing people buy, and everybody knows that generally they're upsells. And just so that folks listening to this understand, Mike, you never make an upsell. You never structure products so that you have to buy the upsell in order to make the thing that you just bought work. That's unethical, and obviously you don't do that. Neither do I. So just in case anybody doesn't know either of us, we can put your mind to rest about that.
Mhm.
But your upsells are always really, really cool and very, very worth the money. I'm guessing there's some potential upsells with this. And can you tell us about that?
Yeah, there are two upsells. You don't need them, like you said, Lee.
Hmm.
A lot of the guys and gals who are brokering leads right now, they don't have any paperwork. They don't have any flyers.
Right.
It's just them talking to people.
Yeah.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what it does is it makes the consultant who does have those tools stand out. So it's an easier way to stand out.
Surely.
In this line of business, it's so easy to stand out from the competition. So that's what I want to help the students do. So one of the upsells is I'm offering a special intake form. Now that's nothing new, but the questions are geared toward making the consultant stand out as an expert, right? I know you're not going to become an expert in a day, but you can look like one. So the intake form will have all the right questions, all the right lingo. So the consultant doesn't have to go on the web and spend hours and days and months trying to learn how to relate to these people.
Right.
The intake form does that.
Because it's a very special business, and it's a very special way of thinking about things. Okay. That
Definitely.
makes sense.
There's some buzzwords, some definitions that you'll need to know, but if you don't have these tools. So the intake form sets you up for that. It sets the consultant up for add-on business. There's so many other services you can offer to these guys and gals. And of course, it makes the consultant look professional. I also give them
there are other services to offer to real estate investors.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, if the consultant wanted to branch out after that, this is a good step in the door. If this is all you want to do, that's fine too. There's plenty of money in it.
Yeah.
But a lot of these investors don't have websites, right? They don't have
True.
blog. They don't have content. They don't have anything online advertising wise. A lot of these people do not have it in place.
Cool.
So the possibilities are endless there. And that's what the
Okay.
intake form sets them up for.
All right.
In addition, this is in the same offer. There is a script for not selling, but just like a fact-finding session. So if the
Okay.
consultant wants to get on the phone, they don't have to do this, but if they want to, there's a little script, what questions to ask, what to say, how to talk, how to get them. And it's designed to get the investor to do most of the talking.
Right.
So essentially what I teach them in this part of the offer is to get the investor to talk them into hiring the consultant rather than selling to the consultant. They talk
Love it. Yeah.
themselves into it. Yeah. And then my mind is blank right now. There are more to that, but those are the two main factors.
Okay.
I give a little training on how to talk and how to present.
Okay.
And again, it's not really selling or presenting. You're really just questioning. It's the
Okay.
art of questioning, right?
So you
And
don't
then-
have to have it, but it's essentially more in-depth stuff.
Yep, it could
Okay.
definitely. It's a little bit more in depth, but if you want to speed up your client getting, and maybe even get more clients with less work, that OTL will help. The
So it'd be
second,
well worth having. Okay.
in my opinion, yeah. So the second one is training on creating leads through Facebook. Now I know we just talked about the program's all about not creating the leads. It's a lot more simple, but I have found a way, if the consultant wants to go a little further and create maybe a part of their business that they can not be in. They can work it, but they don't have to work in it, if that makes any sense. They can set it up
Yeah, it
once.
does.
Okay. And they can walk away and they can monitor a few things, just a few minutes a month, and get paid ongoing month after month. And it's not the
In
typical.
other words, you set it up, but you don't have to be in there doing it every day.
You got it. And it's not the typical lead ads management. It's a little different. There's no website involved. There's no landing page. There's no need for a landing page. There's no need for anything outside of Facebook. And the campaigns can be set up in like 15 minutes to generate.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the second OTO.
That's the second. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is launching today's the Saturday, the 20th. This is launching on Monday, I believe. Is that
Monday,
right?
22nd. You got it.
Monday, the 22nd at the normal 11 o'clock Eastern time.
That's right.
And this is brilliant. So anybody who wants to, and you're a really good teacher. I mean, I have read many of your trainings, gone through many of your trainings. You're really good at breaking it down.
Oh, thanks.
So somebody who's just like getting into this business, or even just wants to find out if they should get into this kind of, local marketing thing, social media marketing deal.
Yeah.
This would be a good place for them to start, because you're very, very good at explaining how this stuff works to someone who is just like literally hatched out of the egg yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, this is really brilliant. I know your prices are, we're not going to mention price, but I know your prices are completely affordable for anybody. Matter of fact, I'm going to actually, in a couple of 3 hours, spend more for lunch than most people would spend buying this thing. And
Right.
your stuff actually works. I mean, it's brilliant. It's really well done, and it actually works. And this is a great way for somebody to either add another income stream to an ongoing business, or just start from scratch and actually build a business. And I know that real estate's huge, and you've got a number of other trainings and having to do with real estate agents and stuff like that. So this could be the start of something really, really huge for somebody buying this. So that's really awesome. I appreciate your taking time out of your day. I know that you kind of had to schedule this in the morning, and you got me up at this ungodly hour of 8 o'clock in the morning.
I was going to say thank you for getting up. This is a little early for you, right, Lee?
My day is naturally shifted.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just that my biological clock is just off. But anyway,
Understandably.
but no, this is super. I really appreciate it, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you too, Lee. You too. Have a great weekend.